Hi, I'm making this video to explain the concept of a Golbez BSB solo with an example. So we'll do one of the battles from the current event, choosing to do the next battle which I haven't done for two reasons. One, I need to do it, and the other, it has 4 enemies. This should help Golbez keep up his soul break gauge without hit and run. Normally before one of these battles I have to spend some time doing hit and run in order to get the gauge up, but hopefully for this one the 4 enemies will provide enough damage. We'll see. I'd like to try to master it, so we've got to find a way to lower magic and attack, as well as cause blind. So Golbez is already decked out for this fight. He has some fairly decent synergy gear, with a 5+++ weapon, so his mag is very high, and his defense and resilience are pretty respectable. We've got a way of causing blind. We've got Magicler, which is really key to every Golbez solo. You'll notice for equipment, I've focused on maximizing his attack rather than defense. This is because Golbez really relies upon getting that high attack to get hit points back with his drain. We've got his burst loaded up, and we've got Dr. Mog for a single gauge. Let's pick a roaming warrior that can cause a attack and mag debuff. I'm a big fan of Moogle Dance because it provides full breakdown as well as major regen. In this case, it's great because it's an area of effect breakdown. 4 enemies, 4 times debuff. So let's see how this goes. I've fought this battle before a number of times. I don't know how many, but you know, there's usually some permutations to it. It's been a while. So start out, first turn is the burst, so not only damage, we activate burst mode. And during this period, Golbez usually gets the stuffing beat out of him. He has to survive not only the turn leading up to the burst, but typically the 2 turns afterward. We're going to cast Magicler next, and then after that, activate Summon mode. So I almost always do Magicler first here, because he gets Sentinel on entry, so his defense is greatly increased. But magic in these fights I've found is usually what causes Golbez a ton of damage. And this is no exception, although it's a bit weaker than usual in that it's an ultimate. The 4 enemies are not going to make it easy for him. So Shadow Dragon will give him Stone Skin. This usually won't last very long. We've used 2 attacks so far. We have 2 left before having used the 5th round to recast his burst. Thankfully I already have enough gauge to get the burst back up. And this is always a little tense because he's got to get this drain in before someone does enough damage to kill him. We'll also use the next turn to drain. That's a lot of damage, so he'll get great healing. So again, you can see just that ton of healing really makes things easier for Golbez. I've been lucky here in that they haven't cast a lot of spells. Alright. So this is turn number 5 after the initial burst cast. It's time to recast the burst. Oh, plenty of gauge. If I don't recast the burst there, he'll drop out of burst mode, which in this case means having to recast summon mode, and that can be a fatal error. Stone Skin really doesn't give you enough hit points to survive, where a recast of the drain is pretty tremendous. So here I'm going to show you how I cast Roaming Warriors. We'll use the first turn to drain. Now that I've got some hit points on board, the spell has taken that guy out. Nice bonus. We'll cast a Roaming Warrior. This is worth approximately 2 turns worth. So after that, we'll do one more turn of drain. Then we'll go back to recasting the burst, and so on and so forth. You probably noticed that the second cast and subsequent casts of his burst have been much stronger. That's because he gets that 30% magic on entry, which makes a big difference. So now debuffed, which is very nice. I've lived a little bit dangerously in that I've let Magicler expire. And it's always a difficult decision. Do you cast another drain or do you recast Magicler? Because it's 25 seconds, it's gone before the end of 2 bursts. So I usually live a little dangerously unless the enemies do nearly exclusive magic attacks. So there you can see I've lost his burst, which is just going to make things more difficult for me. But because really smacking these guys pretty hard, I wasn't particularly worried. But you can already see that losing that 30% damage really contributes to a lot. So once again, back to 4 turns. First turn, Shadow Dragon. And if this were a harder fight, I probably wouldn't survive, having to recast that Shadow Dragon rather than drain. 20% of Golbez hit points is a lot less than he gets in a drain. So we'll use our second turn to drain. And another problem with the Stone Skin is that you don't generate Soul Break Gauge. Definitely not a problem in this fight, at least so far. Turn number 3, we'll hit that third mastery condition with Blind. But if this were a battle where I wasn't getting hit as often, I might be in real trouble when it comes to being able to chain those bursts together. So again, I chose this battle because it is only an ultimate, quote, only an ultimate, rather than a tougher fight. And I have a bit more leeway in what I do. So now 5th turn, recast burst. And we'll probably be able to take him out, if not the end of this battle, pretty close afterward. The obligatory slowdown. I love it. Because there's no reason not to, I'm going to play it safe. We'll recast Magicler, And again, you can see that major regen is just doing a nice job of keeping hit points up. And if 3 drains don't kill him here, then the last burst will. You can also see why I waited on using the blind here. I need those hits to maintain my soul break gauge. I mean, Golbez is a bit of a masochist. He needs to get hit in order to do his thing. He doesn't like to get hit hard per se, but he needs to get the hits. And here I think I'm just going to go ahead and drain him twice more if the next one doesn't kill him. We can afford to lose burst mode here if we kill him. But I think this will probably do it. Alright, so that's the basic concept of the Golbez solo. There are other permutations that I will put into the brief guide that this will be a part of. Nice. Nice bonus there. Just a couple other pointers. Because Golbez is a single character, the damage taken as a percentage of his total hit points will virtually always get you 2 medals lost on that. So you need to hit all 3 mastery conditions if you are trying to master. If you don't care about mastering, doesn't really matter, of course. But that's pretty much it as this example here. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, hit me up on Reddit. Username is Dr. Lugae, Lugae, and see you later.